Hello everyone, my name is Mimmi from Wirepas and I'm here to welcome you all to a webinar with our partner BlueUp about from indoor tracking to distributed monitoring and one platform fits all. Today we have speakers from us, Eden, and then from our partner Ariana and Alessio. Today, we would like you to ask questions as much as possible. You can add them to the questions tab. So on the bottom right, you can find these questions and you can add all your questions there. And at the end of the presentation, Eden, Alessio, and Ariana will be answering your questions. And now the floor is yours, dear speakers. I hope you enjoy our webinar.
Hi, I'm Arianna, and thank you all to be here today to attend this webinar. As you can see from the summary, we will start with an overview of BlueUp. Then we will have an overview of Wirepas and other much more things to say. So let's start. So BlueUp is based in Siena, in Tuscany, between Siena and Florence, and we were born in 2014. Our core business is the design and manufacturing of IoT devices and systems, and we work with Bluetooth low energy technology and also with BLA compatible technologies. For functions as location, tracking, monitoring, and identification. In 2015, we realized the first iBeacon, and then in 2017, we took the certification, the Google certification for full support of Edison technology. We have some strategic cooperation with technology partners, two of which are from Finland. One of that is, of course, Wirepas from 2019, and the other one is Kupa. Until now, we delivered more than 250,000 devices, and we can boost more than 1,000 customers and from more than 30 countries. So I leave the floor to Adam that will talk about Wirepas and Wirepas Connectivity Suite.
Yes, thank you very much, Ariana, and nice to be here also. So let me tell you a little bit about Wirepas. Wirepas is a Finnish company, proudly from a city called Tampere, which is well known for many reasons in the telco and IoT world. We are pure technology provider, and our technology is equipped in over 5 million devices now. This is because of its great versatility and also our fast-growing ecosystem, because we have over 200 partners and solutions within our ecosystem. We are 70 people employees, and we have different branches all around the world. Company was founded in 2010, but the technology itself has over 20 years of R&D, because it started as a university project and as the illustration shows on the screen, also from a garage. So basically, yes, we are mainly engineers, and we have a lot of different international patents around the technology also, because of all these R&D that we've done in the past 20 years. Our mission is basically to solve the major challenges of IoT systems. So basically, we made our technology able to scale, being massive and reliable. We also have a business model to help our customers and their customer make affordable IoT, especially in the different massive area. And we made it also very simple to implement, thanks to our documentation, support, and APIs. So our customers are also able to have the fastest time to market for their product. Our product is called the Wirepas Connectivity Suite, and it combines our field-proven mesh network with built-in end-to-end services. These includes monitoring, positioning, provisioning, and security, but also remote updates, gateway drivers, and backend services, as Ariana and Alessio will explain a bit more. So you can get access to the suite via the different APIs at the device level with the connectivity, for example, at the gateway, but also at the backend levels. And this ensure fast and reliable deployment for the IoT project at any scale. So as you can see, we don't provide any hardware. This could be your business, but we provide a fast-growing ecosystem of hardware providers like BlueUp for you to choose from. And also we have a vast ecosystem of integrators to provide the platform and the business expertise to the end user. The connectivity suites come in three different profiles, which I'll explain a bit later. And this allows you to pick from the best profile to basically build your solution. So how does it represent? Basically, you can create a mesh network using our connectivity, which is embedded into any type of device, supporting the right chipset. So basically, this is installed in every device of the network, and these create the mesh network that communicates through any cloud or local server via the gateway. And for this, I'll explain a bit after how it works. Now, let me tell you what makes Wirepas Mesh unique. So basically, we have worked on decentralized operation, which is allowing to have great size of different networks. This means that every device embeds all the intelligence at its own level, and every device in the network is able to create, maintain, and optimize the network automatically. Each device can also be a router. This means that it can change its role locally and dynamically according to different algorithms within the network. We've also made it very reliable. This is because we have self-healing at any device, and the system is a multi-gateway also. This means that even if a gateway is shutting down, the network will reorganize itself to find the nearest gateway. We also have local interference avoidance. This is thanks to frequency agility, especially when we are talking about the profile 2.4 gigahertz. So this allows the network to be deployed in harsh environment like industrial factories, like in agriculture, in hospital, for example, also, as BlueUp will explain a bit later. And it is very versatile. As I mentioned, we have different radio profile to pick from sub-gigahertz to the newly 5G mesh based on 1.9 gigahertz frequency. Currently, the most deployed networks are based on the 2.4 gigahertz, so the BLE frequency. And also to make it more versatile, we have different mode of operation. So we have low power with very low power consumptions, but also what we call low latency, which is mainly used for mains powered applications. So here, routers are with a very low latency and high throughput. And of course, we support all type of communications, as this is purely bidirectional. So this means that you are able to get data, but also to push data within the network. Now, if I tell you a little bit more about how it works with the gateway and the cloud APIs. So basically, as you can see from the left-hand side of the screen, so every networks connect through gateways to an MQTT broker. These gateways allows with the drivers that are fully open source and available on GitHubs. So basically, you are able to get all the data flowing from the networks through the MQTT broker, but you're also able, for example, to push an over-the-air update or to get some provisioning within these gateways. The backend part is built around the MQTT broker. This can include our tools, like the Wirepas network tools you can see on the right-hand side. So this tool is mainly for maintenance and monitoring. So you are able to get diagnostic informations straight from the networks, which is very convenient, especially when you are in development phase or when you are supporting your own client. You can also have access to the network configuration and the device management. As I mentioned, you can also push some over-the-air updates through this tool. The Wirepas positioning engine, the WPE, is the solver used for to do location, which BlueUp will explain later. So this runs through APIs and is able to compute locations from different RSSI that are sent from the device themselves through the network. Of course, all the backend can run in cloud or on-premise because we provide everything as image Dockers. And the hosting, of course, has to be arranged by the integrator. And as you can see, this is also connected through the platform, which Alessio will display a bit, demonstrate later, which is called the BlueUp Mesh Cube. So this is the main platform that is using all these informations related to the positioning, but also the diagnostic informations from the network. I'll now leave the floor to Ariana to tell you a bit more about their solutions and the MeshCube platform.
Thank you, Eden. So, as we said before, our partnership started in 2019 with the support of Wirepas Massive, Wirepas Mesh 4.0, and now we can offer a wide range of devices with the support of Wirepas 5.1. And furthermore, at the end of 2021, we developed and we launched the MeshCube platform that is on all-in-one platform, all based on Wirepas technology. With this partnership, we achieved a lot of benefits, one of which includes the market expansion. In fact, with the new technology, we were able to face more new use cases, and also to get in touch with new customers. Also, another benefit is the fast time to market in terms of developing of new products and projects, but also in terms of POC. So another benefit, the last but not least, is the continuous improvement of functionalities that we can achieve with OTA. As we said, we have a wide portfolio of devices that are supported by Wirepas Stack 5.1, and they are equipped with the custom pose up that is reachable, that includes a reachable set of functionalities. And also with the app config commands, it's very simple, the configuration of the device is very flexible. These commands can be sent by WMT or Mesh Gateway API or MeshCube API. So as you can see, we have 3 macro categories of devices: wearable tags, asset tags, and anchors. Of course, you can choose to use a wearable tag as an asset tag and vice versa. And also we have, as you can see, Forte Plus that can be used as an anchor or as a tag with a different configuration, of course. And also the device brick can do that. Can be an anchor tag, an anchor, or an asset or wearable tag. As you can see, we also have 2 devices with a button, an alarm button, and they have also sensors for man down, and this is for the increasingly need of safety in the workplace. Now I would like to move the focus on the device Wirepas Ultra that has some unique features compared to the market offer. In fact, it has a directed planar antenna that can reduce the multipath and increase the location accuracy. Also, this device can be powered in two different ways. It can be powered by 4 alkaline batteries or with micro USB, so very flexible. And also it can be used either as low power or low latency anchor. Another very unique feature that this device has is the environmental sensors that includes for the monitoring of the room climate and the air quality. And now I leave the floor to Alessio to speak and tell us about MeshCube platform.
Okay. Thank you to everybody. Thank you to Eden and Arianna for this nice introduction. Well, now I will continue by talking about MeshCube platform. As previously mentioned by Eden, MeshCube is our platform based on Wirepas mesh technology. So we define this as an IoT all-in-one platform, which is at the same time wireless and cable-free. So wireless because the communication uses 2.4 gigahertz wireless mesh technology, and cable-free because you may need no cable to create your infrastructure. The name MeshCube comes from the fact that we included 3 different modules with 3 different functionalities. One is for positioning and for position-related events. The second one is for managing sensors and actuators. And the third one is for managing BLE beacons. So this is the origin of the name cube. So because it is a sort of 3-dimensional functionality. So it is designed for smart environments. So it can be factory, warehouse, office, hospital. This platform is able to provide a very wide ensemble of services that runs from people, localization, asset tracking, safety for the workers, distributed monitoring, driving of actuators, and also centralized management of beacons. So the infrastructure is essentially comes from the infrastructure of a typical Wirepas mesh network. So we have an area where the fixed anchor nodes are installed. These anchor nodes organize themselves into a mesh network that, using one or more gateways, send and receive data to the server where our software is installed. In this area, we can have moving tags that can be wearable asset tags that moves in the area where the network is installed. Clearly, the communication is powered by 2.4 gigahertz Wirepas mesh technology. And what is MeshCube? MeshCube essentially includes different services that goes from positioning engine, includes the services for network management and maintenance, and also includes APIs to integrate the platform into third-party system or application software. So in order to be more concrete and to explain all the functionalities that can be obtained with this platform, I will refer to an example, referring to a floor in an office building, but this can be as well a ward in an hospital or a shop floor in a factory. So we imagine to install one anchor per room, for instance, and to these anchors create the mesh network. All the information runs through to a mesh gateway, and we also have some moving tags that can be wearable or asset tags. So first two notes are the following. So no cable is required for this infrastructure. And another one more important maybe is you don't need any third-party communication network. So all the system is in charge of you. So you can control everything from the asset tag to the data that arrives to the server. So let's see. So we have mesh tags. So these mesh tags can be wearable tags that are worn by persons. It can be employees, can be guests. These tags are equipped with accelerometer or with a button. So we can provide information about, for instance, how many people are in a certain room, or if a certain event, like a man-down event, happened in a room, or a nurse, for instance, push the Duris button in a certain room. But we can also have asset tag to track physical objects and like, for example, medical equipment or a laptop. But we can also, thanks to the accelerometer, have some physical information about events like shock that is detected or on certain equipment. So we can, with this model, we can track not only the position, but also the state of a person or of an asset. So anchor nodes are not only reference point for the positioning, are not only nodes for the mesh network, but can be equipped with sensors. So they can provide measurement and monitoring of physical, environmental, or electrical parameters. For example, we can measure temperature in a room, the air quality. We can check if a workstation is occupied or not. So we can have a map of different data coming from these sensors. And this came at no additional cost, because essentially these sensors are nodes of the network. But considering that this technology uses 2.4 gigahertz radio, and this radio is compatible with Bluetooth, so the anchor nodes can be also configured as Bluetooth beacons. So they can broadcast an iBeacon packet, or for instance, or an Edison packet. What does it mean? This means that we can use these anchors as Bluetooth beacons to provide location-based services on a smartphone or other type of terminals. So, for example, proximity detection or indoor navigation and something like this. Which is the advantage? The advantage is that we have a centralized management tool to monitor and configure all the beacons. So from a single point, with a single click, we can monitor all the beacons that we have in our floor, in our building. But beaconing can be enabled also on moving tags. So which type of use can we do with this feature? So for instance, with the mesh network, what we have we have a discrete sampling of the position over time. For example, we have the position every 5 minutes, for instance, or every 1 minute, for instance. But maybe with this solution, we may lose some events, like an asset that exits from the ward of an hospital. So how we can solve this? So if we enable beaconing, for example, when the tag is moving, and we place two BLE antennas near the entry or exit gate, we can get in real time this event. And for example, we can create an alarm if something or someone exits from the office or from the hospital ward. But we can do also something more. So using beaconing, we can create hybrid RTLS solutions. So we can mix the mesh localization with mesh cube with BLE localization that can be either angle of arrival based or RSSI based. So let's make an example. So maybe we have a warehouse in a factory where we have a very large warehouse that it's very expensive to make the infrastructure. So we can use here mesh cube for making positioning, because essentially this is a quasi-static situation. So we don't care about accuracy, we don't care about real-time positioning. But at the same time, when the tag moves in another area that can be the production line, we may need a real-time positioning, we maybe need a sub-meter accuracy, and so in this case, we can broadcast a BLE packet, which is compatible with an angle of arrival technology like Coupa, for instance, and we get here a very accurate positioning and real-time positioning. So this can be done with the same tech. So now I will jump to a very short demo where I will show you the dashboard for the configuration and management of mesh cube system. And what I want to underline is that I will show the dashboard, but all the functionalities are available by APIs. So all the information that we can get, so like the positions, data from sensor, can be get through API. So I will just show you the interface, which is the manager interface of the system. So just one moment, let me share my screen. Okay, so now you should see my screen, and this is I'm now connected to the mesh cube instance that we have here in our office. Here you see the floor plan of our office, and okay, I will not go through some technical settings. I start from the map. Here you can see the map where these green ROMs are the anchors that are placed on a sort of rectangular grid. You see for each anchor the route to the gateway that I can highlight or not. And you see these dots that are the tags that we have in our office. The color is associated to the state. I will explain better afterwards. We also have integrated here a gate, and I will show how we can track real time the transit through this gate. So with MeshCube, we essentially have a capability to configure the network. So what means configuration? So we can configure both anchors and tags. So for example, and we can have different classes of anchors and different classes of tags. Basically, you need at least one class of anchors and one class of tags, but you can have more. For example, in this case, we have a class of anchors where we have enabled sensing interval equal to 5 minutes, and we have enabled beaconing using Eddystone UID format, but we can disable these, or we can enable high beacon, for instance. And this is something that can be done through this interface and can be done through API. So let's jump to the tags. So in this case, also we have one class of tags, and for the tags we can define more parameters. In particular, we can define the interval for positioning that changes depending on the state of the tag. Can be in motion, can be an alarm state, can be default or sleep. And for each state, we can enable auto scan mode. So auto scan means that the tag is always connected to the network, and this means that we can send real-time commands to the tag. This is something that can be used with for some specific application. We can define thresholds for detecting motion. So threshold is not only a level in acceleration, but also is a duration of the motion. This is done to avoid false triggering of motion events. And we can also enable some alarm that includes position. So for example, I can get an alarm when the tag is horizontal, or when a free fall event is detected, or when a shock event is detected, or a man down. All these events create an alarm, and when an alarm is detected, the interval is very short. In this case, we set 15 seconds for 1 minute. But at the same time, as you can see here, we have also enabled beaconing. So this means that all the tags that we have in our office makes Bluetooth beaconing using this format that we have designed for managing moving tags. And also in this case, we can disable these. We can enable, for example, Coupa emulation mode or standard iBeacon. So this is a very flexible configuration where you can manage all the network. At the same time, here we have the interface for the diagnostic. So you can see here that from this dashboard, you can see all the information related to the network, starting from the radio quality to the operation mode, to the number of routers, the next hop, all the information that comes from Wirepas mesh network through API. And also for each nodes, you can have the battery level. For example, for some nodes like this, we can also send alarm. For example, this is an anchor with an LID. I will send an alarm, and afterward I will show you the LED blinking. And so this can be done. Oops, I have problem with this. Okay. I show, I don't know if it's visible. I'm not sure that I am visible. Okay, so with Mesh IPS, we have all the information related to positioning. For example, for each tag, we can create an alias. We know the position, and we know also the state. So for instance, if I press a button on the tag that I have in my hand, we should see the buttons, an alarm creating. Okay, you see here that we have an alarm that is sent almost in real time. So with the Mesh Sense module, what we see, it's all data from sensors that we have installed in our office. Unfortunately, you see that temperature in Italy now it's quite high, but air quality is excellent, so we can be happy. And then here we see the configuration for the beacons. So we see here that how each device is configured as beacon. So from here we can monitor all our beacon installation for both the anchors and the tags. And what I want to show you is that here we can track in real time transit. So now I will ask Arianna to exit and entry from the room. She will pass through this gate, and you will see that we get this event almost in real time through using two BLE antennas that we have installed in over the gate. So now it is entered in the other zone, and now it's exit. And so she made this path. As you can see, so the dot on the map is still here because the refresh the refresh is 1 minute. So we get this information that the tag start moving, but we also have this alarm that the tag passes through this gate. Okay, so I finish my demo, and now I want to conclude with a few use cases. I will show you 3 use cases. They are very different in the type of market and also in the type of use and application. But just to highlight how with one single platform, you can really accommodate very different needs. So the first use case is in the healthcare sector. This is a POC project that we have now in a hospital here in Tuscany for localization both of people and assets, especially people, in this case, are patients. So what we want to monitor is the presence of the patients into the hospital ward, and also to have alarms in case of exit from the ward. And in fact, we install ultra anchors, 1 per room, and we also create a couple of gates at the 2 doors of the ward. The other target was to reduce the intervention time in case of alarms from nurses that are equipped with a suffix, with a button, and also to reduce search time for assets that are equipped with a slim tag. And this is one first example. So the second example it's very different in terms of market. So we are now dealing with manufacturing, and here we have the need for localization of raw materials, semi-finished and finished products in different storage areas in a sector that require multi-stage production. So we have equipped all the plant with brick anchors and different containers with TagX or with the 40 plus. What we get clearly, this is really was a static application because containers move, are stationary for maybe days or some cases also weeks. So we don't need location every 1 second. Few minutes are sufficient, maybe some cases more. So we have real-time monitoring over the order progress. We have reduced the search times, and we also have improved the quality of service from the customers to their customers, because they can track in real time the state of the order. And the final example of another POC that are making these days is about smart office or maybe smart building. We started from a request for monitoring comfort and air quality. So we installed first ultra deluxe anchors, but then there was also the need to provide some services to employees and guests. So we had some other ultra used as beacons and badge holder used for tracking employees, not for getting position, but mainly to have a presence control over the day. So now I am arrived at the end. So I just want to highlight the main benefits of Sure for the Wirepas technology itself, and specifically of our Mesh Cube solution. So the first one is it's a multi-purpose platform. So with a single platform, you may can meet different market needs that range from asset tracking to safety to distributed monitoring with sensors or actuators and access control. And the very strong thing is that you can add features in the future without changing anything in the infrastructure. The second point is related to maybe the 3 points are really related to the features of Wirepas mesh technology. So First one is the lowest infrastructure cost. So you have no cables, the planning and the design of the system is very simple, and the installation is fast. So you have a very short time to market for any type of installation. The second point is scalability. So the expansion of the network, it's very straightforward. So each device automatically connects and authenticates to the network. So you don't have to care about anything. So just to take care of the radio coverage, but this is something that it's quite simple. In any case, you can add anchors if you have a poor radio quality. Then reliability. So as Eden shows, the Wirepas 2.4 gigahertz guarantees self-healing, interference avoidance. But another point that I want to underline is that you don't need any third-party communication infrastructure. For example, you don't have to rely on a Wi-Fi network inside the office. This is something that in some cases can be very critical. Then flexibility, as you have seen, with our platform, we can manage beacons. So we can use this just to manage beacons and nothing more, for instance. Or we can create hybrid RTLS solutions. Then the integrations is very simple using HTTP or MQTT APIs. And the last point is related to the first one. Clearly, this is a platform that is suitable for very different markets that ranges from smart building to logistics to manufacturing and hospitals, schools, and something like this. And well, I arrived at the end. So here you can find our contacts from both Wirepas, and you can refer to Eden. Here you can find the phone number and the email of Eden, and also for BlueUp you can refer to myself. And here you can find my contacts. And I think now there is some time, unless you are still available for some question and answers about the webinar. Thank you very much.
I think, Eden, you can probably go through the questions and then you can discuss the question points with Arianna and Alessio.
Yes, absolutely. So I'll take some of the questions. I already tried to answer some of them in the question pan. One question from Finn. Is the temperature and humidity sensor solution already certified for goods and storage procedure, GSP, regulations in pharma storage environment? So I think this is more of a question for you, Alessio. Oh, we cannot hear you. I think you are muted.
Sorry, Eden.
It's okay.
Not yet. The solution is not yet certified for this requirement. At present, it is can be used for monitoring of offices, schools, but this certification is not yet in our hands.
Okay, thanks, Alessio. One question from Sylvia. Can this solution be applied outdoor for parked asset localization in Wi-Fi-less area? So I think you already answered a bit of these questions because we don't need any Wi-Fi installation. But I'll let you complement Alessio. But yes, Sylvia, this technology is also used in outdoor. We have deployments in outdoor to track, for example, cars in large, vast parking areas. So where you can put some anchors on poles, so they are able to track assets in outdoors. So I don't know, Alessio, if you wanted to complement.
I completely agree with what you see, what you have just said. For outdoor, we have specific devices that are outdoor rated, clearly, because they must be waterproof. And so you need to use such kind of devices. But as you can see here, this installation site can be indoor, can be outdoor. There is no difference. So you can easily track, as Hidden mentioned it, cars or containers in outdoor storage areas using this technology. Clearly, you have to equip all the area with anchors that you can easily install on poles or where you can, and you get the position of the tags in the parking lot.
And I think we reached. No, there's another questions from Mahmoud. Is there a history record of the moving tags to be checked? The history of movement when needed. So, for example, path of tracking in the facility, for instance. Alessio?
So sorry, I didn't. Could you repeat, please?
So basically, do you have a track record of the different movement from the tags? So do you have possibility to track where the tag has been in the past?
Okay, so at present, so the platform does only track the last data. So the history record is in charge of the external application. So our platform just maintain at present only the last data. So you have to be able to store your data in your database or something like this. So maybe in the future we are planning to include some limited storage of a certain quantity of events, especially in case of communication issues with the external application.
Yeah, and because from a Wirepas point of view, you get all the informations from the different position, but as Alessio mentioned, you need to get all this data in a database in order to track the history. There's a new questions. What is the difference between iBeacon and Eddystone? From Hassan, he thinks that Eddystone project is killed by Google. So maybe Alessio, you can take that question.
Yes, this is partially true, since iBeacon and Eddystone are just packet formats for BLE advertising. So you can still use iBeacon, you can still use Eddystone. What Google killed is the platform support for the Eddystone format, since they build a platform, a backend platform that now is no more available. But you can still use the Eddystone format itself because it is an open source format. So it's a format that is still widely used in indoor navigation system and proximity system.
And as far as I can see, we reached the last questions. Is there any last one from the audience? Please feel free to ask any questions on the question channel. It is on your right-hand side, right bottom side.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we are done. Thanks a lot.
Yes, there is a question about the battery level from Mahmoud. We at present there is no alert about critical level of the battery level. This is something that maybe we will include, but essentially this is something that can be easily integrated by the external application using periodic monitoring of the battery voltage. Just consider that the battery voltage is not something that varies so quickly, so you don't need to make a very frequent sampling of this value, but monitoring this value, you can create your own alerts. Just taking care that different type of batteries have different type of low level voltages. So this is something that we can create. We can provide support to the customers, but you need to be aware of where the alarm threshold must be set.
We get two more questions. So one from Lorenzo: how fast can we get a position on the system? So maybe I'll just explain a little bit from the Wirepas point of view, and I'll let Alessio complement. So basically, as Alessio mentioned, this is not real time, so you'll get a little bit of latency. This is mainly because we are using battery operated devices, which needs to run on low power operation mode, which has a little bit of latency. So basically, we are the comfort zone of Wirepas is within 5 minutes to get a position. We can do a bit less, but from Wirepas point of view, we would not recommend to have a position less than 1 minute, every 1 minute. Alessio, if you want to
Yeah,
complement.
I fully agree. The majority of the application that we are dealing with is application where we have a sort of a quasi-static localization. And so we don't need very frequent positioning. So the positioning can be adjusted depending on the motion status of the tag. For instance, if the tag is still, you can have positioning rate of 10 minutes or half an hour, something like this, and then you can reduce if the tag is moving. Yes, but what Eden correctly said, you have to take care also of the latency that you have in getting the position. So this is essentially, unless you use low latency anchors, this is not a real time system. This is a system for monitoring a state with a certain periodicity, and is especially situated where you don't need real-time data. I just want to show you that the anchor is still blinking, so I will send the command for shutting down the blink. So this just to show how we can use the Wirepas technology also to manage actuators, because we can switch on and off an LID, but we can open a contact or something like this.
Yes, exactly. This is purely bidirectional network, so very useful also to push command inside the network. One question from Valeria: possible to share the presentation? So yes, we will share the recording of this session, so you can share it with your colleagues. This will come by email from the organization, as you have received already the registration confirmation. This will come also by an email. One question from Hassan: indoor positioning concept is interesting for hotels. Do you have hotel experience for people and asset tracking? Maybe just from Wirepas point of view, yes, we do have experience in hotels applications, especially in lighting and other, I would say, IoT experience. So basically, for asset tracking in hotels, this could be referred as we do, for example, in hospital. So we have like patient tracking and applications like this for the technology. So yes, could be related to hotels applications. Alessio?
Yeah, so in BlueUp, we do not have direct experience in this sector, but as I mentioned before, so the solution is quite open, and it's quite flexible. So the functionality that I shown previously can be used in an office, but can be used also in a hotel. So though we don't have direct experience, I think that as Eden mentioned, with their experience, so this kind of solution can be used for some application in the hotel sector.
Absolutely. Another question from Hassan: does BLE interfere with waves? in certain conditions, such as metal pallets and special conditions. So basically, yes, we have the technology is being deployed in very harsh environment. So basically, we make sure that interference are at the lowest level. So this means that even if you encounter some interference, you are always able to add a new anchor, for example, to have a better coverage for the network. And this means that yeah, we will not be too much of an issue for the interference. For example, we have deployments in factories for steel coils. So the technology is used to track steel coils asset, which is very harsh environment with a lot of metal. But there is no issue with interference because the network is fairly reliable in this type of harsh environment.
Yeah, I agree. For sure, for the communication aspect, the interference with the environment the technology is really robust in order to avoid any kind of problems. Clearly, if you have a lot of metal, this may have an impact on the position accuracy. But as we said before, so clearly, if you want more accurate positioning, maybe you need different type of technologies like angle of arrival. So in this case, the impact on the accuracy is just a partial effect on the accuracy of the tags, because we don't rely on a sub-meter accuracy. So we can also neglect this effect regarding position.
Indeed. I think we reached the end of this webinar. I would like to thank you all for. Oh, there's one last question. Maybe Alessio, can we take it? You still have a few minutes?
Yeah, sure.
Any users from the mining industry? Yes, I would say from our ecosystem partners, we do have users in the mining industry. This would be more in the Australia region. Praveen, I would be happy to tell you a bit more about this in a meeting if you like, if you are interested in this sector, because we do have deployment in the mining industry.
Yeah,
Alessio,
we have a few requests at present about this mining industry, but not yet we have not yet deployed systems, but we are making some preliminary evaluation for application in the mining, but in general in the tunnel industry.
Okay, excellent. So thanks all. Thanks Alessio and Ariana and Mimi for helping me on hosting this
Thank you,
this
Aidan.
webinar. And yes, we will follow up with the recording via email. So thanks again all for this webinar.
Thank you,
Alessio,
and thank you
if you want.
everybody for attendance.
Thank
See
you
you soon.
very much.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you and goodbye.